how do I make sure trying to have a baby doesn't damage me and my husband's relationship while we struggle to trying to conceive?
Oh, man. Tell me about this adventure.
So my husband and I have been married for almost 2 years. We've been trying to conceive for about 9 months. And when we started trying to conceive, I said I didn't want this to be a stressful experience. I have several friends who have struggled with conceiving, and it was just clear that they put a lot of stress on their marriage. Their whole lives revolved around timing ovulation and IVF cycles. And I remember talking to them and one of them saying, we don't even enjoy sex anymore. And I was like, that's the last thing I want from me and my husband. And then I guess I've discovered that however much I want to not stress about it, reality is different.
It's so much easier to judge other people's problems.
Yes.
Deal with them in your own house.
But yeah, not being able to get pregnant just feels like this whirlpool of like what's wrong with me, supplements and tests, and then waiting to see if I get pregnant before we can do more tests. And I'm trying not to drown in that, but finding it difficult to talk to my husband about it.
That to me is I've been through this too. Okay, been there. What you just expressed, the thing that is most concerning for me is your inclination to curl up and wall off and self-protect versus y'all having the same shared experience on the table. Because that tells me at a core level, you're beginning to wonder if you're lovable or marryable. Is that fair or wrong?
I don't think it's so much that. I think I worry about stressing him out, which at the same time I know is ridiculous because I know he can tell I'm stressed.
Right. Well, what are you trying to protect him from? Are you protecting him or are you protecting you?
Probably a bit of both. Okay. On one hand, he doesn't have the best stress management skills. So in some ways, I feel like without meaning to, I end up holding on to this myself because I don't want to add to his stress load. At the same time, I'm like, there is I don't want to call it shame, but there is an element of shame. Like I didn't want to be this person who's obsessing about wanting a baby when I have so much I am grateful for.
Man, there's a lot of stories going on in your heart and mind, aren't there? Stories about him, stories about his abilities, stories about you, stories about motherhood, stories about gratitude, stories about... There's a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's close your eyes for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you just to imagine a clean kitchen table and just stories piled up all over it, like in boxes, like Amazon boxes, but they're full of stories. And I want you just to swipe your arm across that table and wipe it clean. And maybe for the first time, I want you to tell me, what are you feeling 9 months into trying to have a baby? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling heartbroken? Are you feeling ashamed? What are you feeling?
I feel sad. I feel sad and I feel frustrated.
Okay, stop right there. Stop with sad first. Tell me about being sad.
This is something that I never imagined would be difficult.
Yeah.
They spend all our teenage years telling us it's practical and it's going to happen at the drop of a hat.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Then it's frustrating to be in the position of, wait, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. We live in an area that has a lot of young couples, and our church community has 1 million babies. And I just look at other people with their babies, and I'm like, that's what I want.
Okay, stop right there. Can I tell you that's okay? It's okay to look around and be pissed off that everyone else is having babies and you're not. You're not bad. You're not broken. There's not something wrong with you. That's a perfectly reasonable, normal feeling. Especially, as you mentioned, they told you if you just looked at somebody wrong, you're going to get pregnant growing up. Being sad is right. Wanting to be a mom, even if you're successful at a business, even if you've got resources, and even if you married well, wanting to be a mom is okay. It's okay to be sad. Tell me about being frustrated.
It just feels like we're doing everything right, and then one has to sit and wait to see if that makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I don't like waiting.
No, really.
I like doing. I'm a very goal-orientated person. I just want to have a list and say, when I tick off the list, then the thing happens.
Yes. So I hope this doesn't come back to be a cruel thing for me to have said to you. I don't think it will. This is probably the best training for motherhood you could possibly have. Because kids don't operate on check boxes and lists. They are their own independent, wild, and crazy people. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not helpful, I know. What else are you feeling? Tell me about you and your marriage.
My marriage is awesome. I have literally the best husband. I'm so grateful, like, every day to have him in my life. Mm. We laugh. We have a great time. We are so happy together.
Okay. Can I challenge your relationship right now?
Yeah.
Happy? We dance. We laugh. Do y'all grieve together?
We do. We've had, as most relationships do, we've had some tough things that we're separate from trying to conceive that we've worked through. And I feel like we're just a really good team at working through things. Right. And I think that's part of my frustration is like, why can't I then bring this to the table and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, when there's so many other things that I know we have worked through.
Okay. Usually that comes from a place of you wondering if you'll still love me. Maybe not, but that's usually where that comes from. That when there is something that I'm afraid to put on the table, I'm afraid at how it's going to reflect on me. That may not be the case in your world, but that often is the case. And for whatever it's worth, the infertility in your marriage, the challenges y'all are having, the 9 months to a year, all like the doctor's appointments, if y'all start to go down that route, like the cost, the ethical concerns of IVF or not, or like all those things are hard. And they're not how anyone would draw up their marriage, but they're, I mean, I just know people personally in every one of those categories. And not only are they overcomeable, but they bring people closer together. The one underlying thing that I see create a cancer but in a marriage is secrets. Mm-hmm. Somebody's got something that they're not putting on the table. Here's a way I've seen it be successful, and here's a way, if I could go back and do it in my own marriage, I would have. That we have some sort of weekly or monthly check-in. Let's put, and it's literally like, let's put everything about the baby on the table, or a baby on the table. How are you feeling? Because I can promise you he's afraid to tell you that he really wants to have a baby too, because he doesn't want to pile on you. Mm-hmm. And he is not knowing, he knows there's tension and anxiousness in you or frustration or secrets, and he doesn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And so there just gets to be this dance that forms, right?
Yeah.
It could be a really divine act of love to say, hey, we're 9 or 10 months into trying to have a baby, and there's stuff I haven't told you about how I'm feeling inside. Could we have just a all secrets on the table conversation? And he, of course, he's going to say, of course. And then you can put it on the table and say, I'm really sad that we don't have a baby. And every time I see couples in church, I just want to yell and scream. And if he hasn't gone to the doctor, you can say, I really want you to go. Or if he has gone, you can have all those mechanical conversations. But it'll start from a place of, I just haven't told you how sad I am. Mm-hmm. And then you get to grieve how you grieve, and then he gets to grieve how he grieves. Where couples get sideways in this conversation is when he says, I'm cool, man. And he's not as sad about it as you are. Or he starts sobbing and he's like, I don't know if I can. And when there's a mismatch of grief, that's where couples get in trouble. And so letting him be as sad as he wants to be or not as he is, and also holding space for you get to be as sad as you are. And then y'all decide how we're going to love each other through this.
Yeah.
How does all that sound? I'm throwing a lot at you.
Oh, it sounds good. Yeah. I think it's just a conversation that we need to have. And
you need to have it multiple times.
Yes.
And if you can give him a roadmap and you're already there, it's an extra painful moment in your spirit when your period comes, right?
Yeah.
If you give him a roadmap for this is the best way you can love me when my period starts, that would be such a blessing to him and to you because you'll have it out on the table and he'll have a thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you say, just bring home dinner and flowers when that happens, or I just need you to hug me and not say anything, or I need to know that you're sad too, like whatever would give him a roadmap so he can follow it.
That would actually be quite helpful. I feel like my last period was particularly emotional for me, and
Sure.
I just didn't know how to tell him that.
Yeah. But tell him ahead of time before the emotions come.
Yes.
And by the way, feel free to set it all up, and then the emotions are bigger than you thought they were going to be or smaller and change in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, feel free to say, I told you to hug me, don't touch me, go get food, right? Like, that's okay. It's just setting it up, especially if you can set up some of those conversations. And here's the big secret. I'm kind of doing an end around here. If you will talk through how he can best love you if you have a next period in month 10 of trying to have a baby, that will mean y'all have had the conversation about how heavy all of this is. And that will mean that y'all have had the conversation about how you can love each other when grief gets heavy. And that means you'll have the conversation when he's saying, I'm not really that worried about it yet. And you can say, I'm super worried about it. Or he can just break down and start crying and say, I want to be a dad more than anything in the world. And I know that's extra shameful and pressure on you, but I do. And you can say, I'm so sorry. And y'all can weep together. And so some of those roadmap conversations are important because they force other conversations, and that brings y'all closer together. The thing that will drive y'all furthest apart now is secrets. So coming up with a structure for when and where it's okay to put these things on the table. And they're not weapons. They are just moments of shared experience that will bring us closer together as we navigate what millions of couples are navigating, which is we thought we would just have sex and ta-da, just like our high school health teacher told us. And it's not working out that way. Thank you so much for the call, sister. Finding ways to come together. And finding ways to keep sex playful and joyful, even when it's on a calendar and even when you're ovulating, even when neither of you feel like it, but your little app said, go now. Finding ways to keep it playful can make a world of difference. And then finding ways to grieve together if and when it doesn't happen. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate your bravery. And by the way, when you do get pregnant, call us and let us know and we'll celebrate you.